Tune into Black Cyber, the number one podcast to jumpstart, sustain, and catapult African Americans' career in a cybersecurity. Black Cyber, securing our place in the industry.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Black Cyber Podcast. I'm your host, George McPherson. Today's guest is a technology professional turned career coach. She has been featured on CNN, Entrepreneur, Glassdoor, The Washington Post, Amazon, and CBS Radio. Welcome to the Black Cyber Podcast, Kanika Tolver.
Thank you.
Hey, Kanika, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm really good.
All right, Kanika, I'm going to do what's called the Black Cyber Origins. I'm going to ask you a two-part question. The first question is, how did you get into technology? And the second part of that is, why did you kind of transition into the career coach side?
So I first got into technology back in 2005 when I graduated from college, and I was really infatuated with web technology and building websites. And I, went into the industry wanting to be a web developer. So I worked on a lot of different web technology projects within the federal government. I was a SaaS developer. I was a web developer. And then over time, I transitioned into project management, leading software development teams. I got into career coaching because so many people would ask me like to do their resumes, and they wanted to get jobs, and they would be my friends and family. And then I started to do it as a business a couple of years ago. And then people started to ask me more the hard career questions like salary negotiation and how to deal with toxic work environments. And then I just over time evolved into like career coaching. So that's kind of how that's happened between, my tech field and, kind of like also coaching people into tech careers as well through my coaching program.
Gotcha. That's a great story. Let me ask you this. I see you have a degree and several certifications. Now that you've gone through your career and you've definitely done some diverse jobs, very good IT experience there. Do you feel the blueprint looks the same? I mean, now in present day, what do you feel the blueprint is for a person getting into the technology or the IT field?
I think the blueprint has evolved and changed over the last, maybe 5 to 7 years. I have seen the trend change where people are, some people are still getting, traditional computer science or information system degrees, bachelor degrees. But over the last couple of years, I've kind of seen people kind of do a shift, and they've become subject matter experts within a specific track within IT. They've learned to isolate themselves into understanding, like, do I want to be a cloud expert? Do I want to be a security expert? Do I want to be project manager? Do I want to be quality assurance tester? I think people have gotten to a place where they don't feel like they necessarily need some of those degrees and programs to validate their knowledge and understanding. And certifications have definitely really helped people get to a place where they can land jobs very quickly with learning something, within a short period of time.
Gotcha. Good point. And I believe starting off your career, you definitely want to kind of learn it holistically on a basic level. But like you said, dialing into a niche is very important because, I mean, as we see in technology, you're learning something every day. And if you're excited about it, you're trying to learn, you're trying to keep up. And if you don't learn every day, you kind of get lost. So having a niche is important because you're going to learn a lot in that niche. So trying to learn everything really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. You can, be a jack of all trades and a master at nothing, right? So I think it's important to, like, of course, when you get into a traditional degree, you're going to take all of those foundation courses, everything you need to know about how the computer works, and you're going to take foundation courses about development, about networking, about security. But I think when you get into the industry, what really makes you stand out is maybe really understanding one or two areas and really being able to mash those up together. So like networking and security, they always go hand in hand, right? So if you can really
Exactly.
know that
Yep.
with administration, then you can learn security.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Good point. Kanika, you have a new book on Amazon called Career Rehab: Rebuild Your Personal Brand and Rethink the Way You Work. Can you talk about that?
So this book is a career mindset shift book. This is a book that I have a publishing deal with entrepreneur.com, and I wanted to write this book because I wanted all professionals, not just tech professionals, but all professionals to shift their mindset into being from being an employee to being a brand. I think so often we all have worked for different organizations and corporations, and we have maybe initially in the beginning of our careers we have been an employee where we do what we're told and we don't really look at our expertise as more like a product or service. So this book is an amazing resource for us to look at ourselves as little businesses or little products within the corporate space so we can maximize our marketability to be able to get other opportunities within the tech industry or within any industry and get the pay that we deserve. So that's pretty much what the book is about.
Gotcha. Um, and I checked out the audiobook. Not, not really in the job market right now, but I was listening to your book and I was like, these are some great tips, like just great strategies, real down to earth ways to get things accomplished. I really enjoyed the book so far. I think I'm gonna finish it just because it's well done. I think it has some good tips in there. I think you highlight some good tips for even if you're not seriously looking for something else, how to keep your brand consistent, how to build yourself as a brand within that company, how to kind of look at the positive sides and how to build yourself up. Where if you need to go to that next opportunity, you'll be okay.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So I don't want this book to come off as someone that's only in the job market or someone that's doing a career change or transition. This is for all of us as professionals to continue to let our brands evolve. You think about Nike, you think about Adidas, you think about all of the celebrities that we admire or athletes. They consistently work on their brand, and we as professionals have to do the same thing.
Exactly. Kanika, you talk about three different roles in the book, and I don't want to give too much away of the book. It's a very good book, so I want people to actually go out and get that. But early on, in the podcast, it's still early. I want to talk about the first level, the first individual you talk about, which you call the cool geek, somebody just getting into technology. Can you explain that a little bit?
So the cool geek concept came up as an alter ego of mine. So I think cool geek, it is applicable to all of us that are entering into an industry. The cool geek is the person that is excited to learn. They're excited to make learning cool. They're excited to always be able to understand how can they um, get into that first entry level or mid level role and grow. So for me, I've always been a cool geek. I've always, been into learning and being smart in high school and in college and being an outstanding student. But I wanted people to know as they transition into the career space that you still have to take that same coolness of learning and being an overachiever within the classroom. You have to take that into the corporate space. So that's what the
Exactly.
alter ego is really all about. Is really about just the continuous learning. Even when you get into the workplace.
Gotcha. Like you said, growing up in the high school, sometimes that was looked down upon to be the nerd, the geek. And then when I, got into work life, you started to see that geeks make money. So
Yeah,
I'd rather be a geek any day.
Right. We are the superstars, the cool
Oh
geeks.
yeah,
Yeah, we're the superstars. So that's why I wanted to call it that, because I wanted to also show the younger readers that it's okay to be awesome in the classroom.
exactly. Um, Coach Kanika, I'm gonna call you Coach Kanika because that's what you do. That's what you are. What does Career Rehab look like during the coronavirus pandemic? Do you have any tips to provide for the listeners?
Yes. So career rehab during this time is actually, as I'm writing the book, I didn't know that coronavirus was going to happen. But
Nobody did.
right.
Nobody saw this. Woo, nobody saw this coming.
This is crazy, right? So
Yeah,
I think that career rehab is very timely for all of us, for me, for all professionals. But career rehab is really about gutting out the bad stuff that you don't want in your career anymore and replacing it with the good things. So that's where the word rehab comes from. It's about, hey, I have an opportunity to restore my career to a place of whether it's learning something new, whether it's doing a career change, or whether it's maybe even looking for a new job. So career rehab looks like um, taking this opportunity to continue to learn for free, all the free resources, online. There's so many free resources that we see that are being offered by Udacity, Udemy. Um, I think you shared some online resources on LinkedIn as well. This is a
yeah.
great
The
opportunity.
plural site. Yep.
Yeah, plural site. Um, then you have LinkedIn Learning. You have all these opportunities to learn for free. Then you have like YouTube, which is free every day that you can
Oh
continuously.
yeah,
um,
exactly. That's number one right there.
that's
You
number
want
one.
to learn something? Go to YouTube.
Yeah, there's so many amazing experts that are already sharing knowledge about any industry or any field. So I definitely would check out YouTube for those that, have limited budgets. But number two is after you do this continuous learning during this time off and being at home, then you can actually expand your network. This is an amazing time to network online, to get to meet industry leaders, hiring managers, attend virtual career fairs, to connect with other professionals that are in the industry or have accomplished something that you're trying to accomplish. So learning, expanding your network, and then making sure that you update your personal brand online, whether that's your LinkedIn profile, your resume. That's the third thing I would encourage people to do. After you start learning, after you start meeting people, it's now time to update your resume, your job board site profiles, and start applying if looking for a new opportunity is something that you want to do during this time.
Exactly. And I would add to that. During this time, I mean, this is definitely a tough time for everybody, but with any tough situation, there can be some positives in it. And what I would do is reach out to like people like Kanika and other people that are usually on the road, usually have a hectic schedule. This is the time if you want to network with some of these people that you've seen on LinkedIn. This is the time to reach out to them because you may actually, get some time from them. I mean, nobody's going anywhere or traveling, so
Yeah,
um,
I definitely agree. So career coaches is definitely someone that we should add to your network. And I think, even looking for new mentors as well that would be willing to mentor you. I always try to respond. I always try to post, quality content once a week. But I definitely am going to be more inclined to respond during this time because I'm not going anywhere.
exactly. Kanika, I want to roll out the black carpet for you right now. What events do you want to tell everyone about, and where can they find you on social media?
Some of the events that I have coming up, I have some exciting things that I'm working with some other cloud career coaches online that people know from LinkedIn. We're working on. I'm teaming up with other career coaches to do some events online.
Nice.
I'm
Okay.
also going to be going. I'm actually going to be a speaker at the CTO Advisor Conference. Like I said, we can link all of this information, in the podcast notes. I'm also going to be making sure that I focus in on, dropping. You guys can follow me on YouTube. I try to drop YouTube videos every week, and I try to drop a video on LinkedIn. I'm going to be doing a lot of more virtual conferences that I have in the works that are like, being developed. And they can always find me, of course, on my website at kanikatolver.com. You guys can always find me on all social media outlets at Kanika Tolver is my handles for Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. And, you definitely guys can check out the book. If you guys really want more and you don't, we're going to be rolling out a Kindle special for $1.99 soon for the book. So you guys can be able to download the book, for a lower cost as well on Amazon.
All right. Hey, Kanika, thank you again for being on the show. Everybody, I want to put this out here right now. Go get Career Rehab on Amazon by Kanika Tolver. Thank you, Kanika.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad I could get some time from you where we could do this interview. I definitely appreciate it.
No problem.
Be sure to subscribe to and share the Black Cyber Podcast.